Welcome to Switzerland. Did you know that our country is not just a great place to visit, but also your first-class business location? We are centrally located in Europe and we have the world's best infrastructure. Oh, and the train is always on time, so let's take a journey. Did you know that Switzerland has 4 official languages? Ja? No? Forse? Decidia? Don't worry, we also have excellent English skills. However, we don't spend all day chatting. We love to work. In 2012, we could have voted for longer holidays, and we voted against them. It's crazy, isn't it? But we're not crazy. Our economy and government are among the world's most stable. That, combined with our outstanding talent pool and a deregulated labor market, makes Switzerland the most innovative and competitive nation in the world. Our Swiss dual education system provides an excellent mix of both vocational education and apprenticeships. Now let's take a look at industry. Maybe Germany, the United States, and China are well known for their industrial output. But did you know that Swiss industrial production per capita beats all of them? Sorry, guys. Our country is small, but hey, 3 Swiss companies are among the global top 20 most valuable companies. Furthermore, we offer the best quality of life. That's why 3 Swiss cities are among the world's best for the highest quality of living. In addition, Switzerland is one of the happiest nations on the globe. Perhaps because we eat on average 12 kilograms of chocolate per year? Switzerland is the best location for innovation, has stable political, economic, and financial conditions, has the highest living standard, and welcomes your business. So tell us now, when will you invest in Switzerland? Switzerland Global Enterprise, enabling new business. Find out more at s-ge.com.
For us in the Aditya Birla Group, Odisha has been one of our most preferred investment destinations. Chief Minister Shri Naveen Patnaik's exceptional leadership has been the singular factor in the rapid progress of Odisha. The state government has leveraged its competitive advantages, including its progressive policies and governance framework, are a big pull factor.
Welcome you to Odisha. Come, join the juggernaut.
In healthcare, a vast ecosystem is helping therapy innovators become more patient-centric and more effective than ever before. Cytiva supports researchers, biopharma, and clinicians in the pursuit of more targeted treatments. In discovery, speed and accuracy are everything. The faster and smarter researchers can work, the more patients benefit. To ensure that new, more targeted therapies become reality, we're equipping biomanufacturers with the tools and expertise they need to produce cost-effectively and quickly. How can tens of thousands of individualized patient doses be manufactured quickly, efficiently, and securely? The answer, with a healthy dose of expertise and innovation. We're creating processes and solutions that are scalable and address complex needs. We work to deliver diagnostic tools and other technologies to bring the right therapy to the right patient at the right time, so that life-saving medicines come within the reach of more people and could save more lives. Cell culture, protein purification, biomarker imaging, and analysis. It may not be what most think about when envisioning the future of healthcare, but this is what we do. Our part in changing the world. Advancing and accelerating. Discovery, manufacturing, diagnostics, future therapeutics.
to regulatory compliance is long and filled with choices. With a combination of standards, process, and service, USP can help guide your path to compliant, quality products. Trust the standard that sets the benchmark for medicines. Our robust and collaborative scientific process is part of our comprehensive approach. We offer reference standards that are tied to USP monographs to help you minimize risk and enhance your confidence in compliance. Reduce time and resources spent developing in-house standards and streamline your path to regulatory compliance. We work with independent, volunteer scientific experts who rigorously review and approve our standards, which undergo testing by USP and other laboratories around the world. Ongoing testing of our standards helps ensure the quality of your product over time. And only USP reference standards are linked to official USP NF monographs that provide specifications for the identity, purity, and potency to meet FDA requirements without further in-house qualification and the needs of our global customers. With USP, you have access to our in-house scientific experts to guide you every step of the way. In addition to our best-in-class USP reference standards, we offer training, education, and other services. Our online resources help smooth your path to regulatory compliance. Our standards provide precise testing and validation guidelines, as well as reference samples for testing. Drugs can be made consistently every time. We are more than reference standards. We provide a unique combination of standards, process, and service. From buying to applying standards, we support your bottom line with reference standards that have been rated best in class by our customers. Talk with us to find out how we can help you navigate your journey to regulatory compliance. Contact USP at usp.org.
Welcome to Switzerland. Did you know that our country is not just a great place to visit, but also your first-class business location? We are centrally located in Europe, and we have the world's best infrastructure. Oh, and the train is always on time, so let's take a journey. Did you know that Switzerland has 4 official languages? Ja? No? Forse? Decidia? Don't worry, we also have excellent English skills. However, we don't spend all day chatting. We love to work. In 2012, we could have voted for longer holidays, and we voted against them. It's crazy, isn't it? But we're not crazy. Our economy and government are among the world's most stable. That, combined with our outstanding talent pool and a deregulated labor market, makes Switzerland the most innovative and competitive nation in the world. Our Swiss dual education system provides an excellent mix of both vocational education and apprenticeships. Now let's take a look at industry. Maybe Germany, the United States, and China are well known for their industrial output. But did you know that Swiss industrial production per capita beats all of them? Sorry, guys. Our country is small, but hey, 3 Swiss companies are among the global top 20 most valuable companies. Furthermore, we offer the best quality of life. That's why 3 Swiss cities are among the world's best for the highest quality of living. In addition, Switzerland is one of the happiest nations on the globe. Perhaps because we eat on average 12 kilograms of chocolate per year? Switzerland is the best location for innovation, has stable political, economic, and financial conditions, has the highest living standard, and welcomes your business. So tell us now, when will you invest in Switzerland? Switzerland Global Enterprise, enabling new business. Find out more at s-ge.com.
For us in the Aditya Birla Group, Odisha has been one of our most preferred investment destinations. Chief Minister Shri Naveen Patnaik's exceptional leadership has been the singular factor in the rapid progress of Odisha. The state government has leveraged its competitive advantages, including its progressive policies and governance framework, are a big pull factor.
I welcome you to Odisha. Come, join the Juggernaut.
In healthcare, a vast ecosystem is helping therapy innovators become more patient-centric and more effective than ever before. Cytiva supports researchers, biopharma, and clinicians in the pursuit of more targeted treatments. In discovery, speed and accuracy are everything. The faster and smarter researchers can work, the more patients benefit. To ensure that new, more targeted therapies become reality, we're equipping biomanufacturers with the tools and expertise they need to produce cost-effectively and quickly. How can tens of thousands of individualized patient doses be manufactured quickly, efficiently, and securely? The answer, with a healthy dose of expertise and innovation. We're creating processes and solutions that are scalable and address complex needs. We work to deliver diagnostic tools and other technologies to bring the right therapy to the right patient at the right time, so that life-saving medicines come within the reach of more people and could save more lives. Cell culture, protein purification, biomarker imaging, and analysis. It may not be what most think about when envisioning the future of healthcare, but this is what we do. Our part in changing the world. Advancing and accelerating. Discovery, manufacturing, diagnostics, future therapeutics.
To regulatory compliance is long and filled with choices. With a combination of standards, process, and service, USP can help guide your path to compliant, quality products. Trust the standard that sets the benchmark for medicines. Our robust and collaborative scientific process is part of our comprehensive approach. We offer reference standards that are tied to USP monographs to help you minimize risk and enhance your confidence in compliance. Reduce time and resources spent developing in-house standards and streamline your path to regulatory compliance. We work with independent, volunteer scientific experts who rigorously review and approve our standards, which undergo testing by USP and other laboratories around the world. Ongoing testing of our standards helps ensure the quality of your product over time, and only USP reference standards are linked to official USP NF monographs that provide specifications for the identity, purity, and potency to meet FDA requirements without further in-house qualification and the needs of our global customers. With USP, you have access to our in-house scientific experts to guide you every step of the way. In addition to our best-in-class USP reference standards, we offer training, education, and other services. Our online resources help smooth your path to regulatory compliance. Our standards provide precise testing and validation guidelines, as well as reference samples for testing. Drugs can be made consistently every time. We are more than reference standards. We provide a unique combination of standards, process, and service. From buying to applying standards, we support your bottom line with reference standards that have been rated best in class by our customers. Talk with us to find out how we can help you navigate your journey to regulatory compliance. Contact USP at usp.org.
Welcome to Switzerland. Did you know that our country is not just a great place to visit, but also your first-class business location? We are centrally located in Europe, and we have the world's best infrastructure. Oh, and the train is always on time, so let's take a journey. Did you know that Switzerland has 4 official languages? Ja? No? Forse? Decidia? Don't worry, we also have excellent English skills. However, we don't spend all day chatting. We love to work. In 2012, we could have voted for longer holidays, and we voted against them. It's crazy, isn't it? But we're not crazy. Our economy and government are among the world's most stable. That, combined with our outstanding talent pool and a deregulated labor market, makes Switzerland the most innovative and competitive nation in the world. Our Swiss dual education system provides an excellent mix of both vocational education and apprenticeships. Now let's take a look at industry. Maybe Germany, the United States, and China are well known for their industrial output. But did you know that Swiss industrial production per capita beats all of them? Sorry, guys. Our country is small, but hey, 3 Swiss companies are among the global top 20 most valuable companies. Furthermore, we offer the best quality of life. That's why 3 Swiss cities are among the world's best for the highest quality of living. In addition, Switzerland is one of the happiest nations on the globe. Perhaps because we eat on average 12 kilograms of chocolate per year? Switzerland is the best location for innovation, has stable political, economic, and financial conditions, has the highest living standard, and welcomes your business. So tell us now, when will you invest in Switzerland? Switzerland Global Enterprise, enabling new business. Find out more at s-ge.com.
Department of Biotechnology, BIRAC, and senior government officials from the state government of Karnataka, Odisha, Punjab, and Telangana, and industry captains who have joined today. Today's State Biotech session shall present an opportunity for the companies to understand the upcoming policies, incentive packages, industrial clusters, research and development opportunities, and other details which are imperative to investment decision by companies. Without further ado, may I now invite Mr. Dushyant Thakur, Vice President Invest India, for his welcome remarks. Dushyant sir, over to you.
Thank you very much, Srividya, Dr. Renu Suru, Mr. Sarangi, Odisha, Mr. Jayesh Ranjan, Dr. Avasthi, Mr. Manish Diwan. It's wonderful to be a part of this panel. Thank you very much for inviting us. Very briefly introducing Invest India, we are the National Investment Promotion and Facilitation Agency. And, we are working very closely with both DBT and BIRAC for the biotechnology areas, but we are also working very closely with the missions and with each of these state governments in the country. And a number of other initiatives of Invest India, the whole startup initiative, the National Technology Commercialization Initiative, AGNI, PM STIAC, Waste to Wealth. In each of these initiatives is where we have been working around the biotechnology sector on a day-to-day basis. This being a state-focused session, I thought I'd probably just like to make 4 quick points. The first would be a little bit on policy. So it's wonderful to really see that more than 20 states and union territories have come up, with their biotechnology policies, which I would say has been a starting point, which talk about, the incentives, the whole R&D infrastructure. The second point, getting down to, and that's what I think a major part of our discussion as we listen from the states, is going to be more around the infrastructure, the biotechnology clusters which are there. Each of the states has been doing a fantastic job in terms of attracting investments, promoting innovation, and generating jobs. Mr. Sarangi, I understand that Odisha is setting up a biotech park, which is coming up near Bhubaneswar. And I believe a number of vaccines are going to get prepared there. And also having a very diverse marine ecosystem. I believe there's a center of excellence in marine biotechnology, which is planned to come up, in Bhubaneswar. Talking about Karnataka, which is already home to close to 400 biotech companies and around 200 startups. I believe the Bangalore Biotechnologies Park, the Life Sciences Park, which is going to come up at a cost of 5,000 crores, is going to be another very positive step, in that direction. And it's not only restricted to Bangalore. I believe under Beyond Bangalore initiative, but to promote biotechnology sector incubation, R&D, centers have been set up in Dharwad, Bagalkot, and Mysuru. Telangana already has got positioned as the vaccine capital of the world. I think everybody, Sir Jayesh sir, all the eyes have been on Telangana. Genome Valley, which is something which everybody is talking about. I believe more than 800 life sciences companies, and there's been a whole lot of investments which have come into this space. And turning to Punjab again, I believe the agri-food biotech cluster, and I believe the planned life sciences park at the Knowledge City in Mohali are going to be, the initiatives which we'll be listening to from each of the states. Turning on, as we talk about, attracting investments, I think ease of doing business, all the 4 states which are here today have done, I think, remarkable work. And especially, as I see in these last 12 months, during the pandemic period is where, wonderful work has been done. Telangana with TSI Pass, giving speedy clearances to industries, the deemed clearance concept, those are the sort of things which are available to investors, and that's what is making life very easy for them. Karnataka has recently come up with the affidavit-based approval systems, which will enable investors to establish a business without multiple clearances for the first 3 years. These are remarkable steps. Odisha has got a wonderful single window system, which is probably one of the best in the country. And I believe they are now working on the new industrial policy resolution, which is going to come out soon. And also Punjab, which is, Invest Punjab is one of the better investment promotion agencies in the country. And again, there is some good work which is going on, to incorporate provisions for deemed approval in the Punjab Bureau of Investment Promotion Act. So all of the 4 states present have got really good facilitation support, which we have seen, which are being extended to investors. Relationship managers are assigned for each investor who comes in. And there's good sectoral depth, as we listen to, each of the states, which we'll talk about it. Just to, look at some of the other initiatives where Invest India has been working very closely with each of the 4 states, the national single window system, and we will certainly see this coming up, in the coming, few months shortly. That's where we are working with each of the states present here, and which will really transform the journey for investors. The National Land Bank, again, where the integration has been done of the industrial information system with each of the states' GIS system, makes the journey very easy for an investor. They go to a portal, they say, okay, we need 3 acres of land, and they say, okay, this is the sector, and immediately those specific plots will pop up in front of an investor. So a whole lot of these things which are being done are what really make it a easier ecosystem for investors to come in. Talking about the FDI which has come in, it's, while it's been a very difficult year for everybody, but I must like to say in the first 6 months of this financial year, we have received $30 billion of foreign investments, which has been a 15% growth over the $26 billion which we received in the similar period last year. I believe the project development cell, which is being created at DBT, BIRAC, and Invest India coming together, it's going to be a wonderful initiative which will provide all the facilitation and further hand-holding support to investors. And further, the production-linked incentive schemes which are there, specifically when we look at, in the category 1 in pharmaceuticals, areas like biopharmaceuticals, cell-based or gene therapy drugs, and orphan drugs are also getting covered. So I think some really wonderful work which we look forward to listening to from the 4 states which are present today. It really is a wonderful ecosystem for investors to come in and invest. So with those kind words, I'll just turn back to Srividya.
Thank you so much, Dushyan sir. Just wanted to convey this message. Due to an unavoidable last-minute engagement, Secretary Ma'am will not be able to join us, but has assured all her support to this entire initiative. So quickly, I'll move on to our next speaker. May I now invite Dr. Manish Diwan, who is Head of Partnerships and Entrepreneurship and Development within BIRAC, to set the context. Sir, over to you.
My pleasure, Srividya. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dushyant, for giving the background. And I warmly welcome all the four states representation, Dr. Eddy, uh, Dr. Jayesh Ranjanji, Dr. Sarangi, and Dr. Avasthi. I think the very purpose of this particular session being placed centrally in the Global Bio India is to reflect the biotech sector, which is now growing and thriving and getting recognized not only in India but also across the world. Through this platform, we want to showcase the strength and the growing opportunities in the biotech sector at national level and to the community at large across the world. Uh, if you look at the program for today, the Startup Conclave, which was graced by Honorable Minister Piyush Goyalji himself, it sets the tone for today's this particular session. We began with sampling and providing essence that the startup ecosystem is growing, and we did some product launch from the some of the startups who got this platform. We provided the glimpses of talent, innovation talent, which is being nurturing. We also brought a professional bioeconomy report, which was released by Honorable Minister Ji. It's India's bioeconomy report and how bioeconomy is doing over a period of years. So, for example, in 2015, we were at $35 billion as a bioeconomy in the country. And I'm very pleased to reflect that in 2020, we clocked $70 billion. And that was a 12% growth from last year. And that being a COVID year, still we moved and increased from 62.3 billion to 70.2 billion. And we are looking forward to a growth of about 100 to 150 billion by 2025. So that's a fourfold growth from 2015 to 2025 across in 10 years. Likewise, in the startup ecosystem, which is the growth engine of the innovation, in 2016, we were 1,022 biotech startups in the country. Now we are sitting at 4,200 startups in the biotech domain alone. And by 2025, we are striving that these numbers would look like about 10,000. So you're looking at tenfold increase. The bioeconomy report reflected that the number of startups growing in the ecosystem, they're about 800 plus year on year. That's a statement that the talent pool and the growth in the critical mass capacity building for these innovative startups and SMEs, it is on the rise. We also launched today in the presence of Honorable Minister Ji, an assessment of the biotech sector across India, state-wise. So there was a reflection of all the good work that you've been doing in your respective states, like promoting ease of doing business, bringing out biotech state policies, bringing out policy frameworks that can help get the regulations in place and faster moving windows from there. Single window clearances, for example, incentivization. Srividya and Invest India team through DPIIT, we are also rolled out and announced a project development cell which has been institutionalized at DBT, BIREC and Invest India specifically for the biotech sector to mobilize foreign direct investment as well as help facilitate states to identify and create investable projects that can be showcased and projected to industry at large. So this particular session was preceded by our country focus partners, and we had about 8 countries representing. It's flowing in parallel, but we have Switzerland, Netherlands, UK, US, Sweden, Finland, Lithuania, and other nations. So there is an interest, a recognition that India is being looked at as a global innovation hub and biomanufacturing facility, not only for India, but for the world. To facilitate this ecosystem, we at the central level as an enabler, we are also bringing a next layer of incubation system, that is technology clusters, which would help provide access to common facilities, which are manufacturing facilitation for the younger startups who can't afford to invest, but the parks and the manufacturing zones that you are creating at your state. So those technology clusters would provide seeding for manufacturing zones, as well as propel the technologies from proof of concept to validation stage, so that this growing network of 10,000 startups, we actually see large number of commercialized products which are sold in India but scaled outside India too. So there are a lot of things which are in offering, and I think with each state you can highlight and project through this Global India platform to the entire international community how receptive, how prepared your state is to welcome such initiatives, bring brings bring the foreign direct investments as well as from the large industry in India to converge and scale. So I'll stop here, Srividya, back to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Devan. Quickly, before we move on to the state session, I just want to take a couple of seconds to brief our speakers on some of the points which one want to bear in mind. In the interest of time, request all to please adhere to the timeline. So it's 10 minutes each state, and the speaking order are already assigned to states, so we will be following the same. So we will now begin the state session, and we'll go ahead with the state of Karnataka. From the state government, we have Ms. C.N. Meena Nagarajan, who is the Director for Department of Electronics, IT and BT, and Science and Technology, and also the Managing Director for Karnataka and Technology Society. Director ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Srividya. Good evening to all officers, Principal Secretary Telangana, officers from Odisha and Maharashtra, BIRAC, officers from BIRAC and Invest India. It is indeed an opportunity for the state government of Karnataka to represent and present the bio-ecosystem that Karnataka has been seeing over the last 30 to 40 years. So as far as the state of Karnataka goes, along with IT, we've also worked hard to ensure that we have the #1 position in the biotech area also. So recently in the India Innovation Index, which is rolled out by Niti Aayog, we've been a state which has been ranked #1 for 2 consecutive years. And for the biotech companies itself, we have about 750 plus biotech companies in the state. The biotechnology does not only prevail in Bengaluru. We have sectors beyond Bengaluru also, which houses a lot of companies like in Mysore, Mangalore Udupi region, and Hubli Dharwad. To enable this and facilitate this entire ecosystem, we've had 35 plus state and central research institutes. We were the first state in the country to bring about a BT policy version 3.0. The state is home to 60% of country's biotech company, and Karnataka has 54% of India's biotech workforce. And the state contributes 1/3 of the BT exports of the country. And Biotech Facilitation Cell, which was set up in 2012 at the Karnataka Information Technology Society, plays a key role to enable the government, industry, and academia collaboration and interaction, which happens on a regular basis. Next. Slide next. Okay, recently, in order to enable the way we are moving in the IT sector, the state government took up the initiative of understanding how we can leverage this #1 status in the bioeconomy in the next 5 to 10 years. And we constituted a committee under the guidance of ABLE, and we have rolled out a bioeconomy report. Currently, the state stands at $22.6 billion as far as the bioeconomy goes. And we were thinking of leveraging the bioagri sector, biopharma, biomedical, bioservices, bio-IT, bioindustrial, regions and analytical business, and marine biotech. These are the 8 sectors that we have tried to leverage and try to build a roadmap that how the state will work around its policies in the next 5 years in these areas. Next. Just to showcase the sector highlights over how the entire economy in the BT sector has grown from 2014-15, where we had 14,938 crores. That was the annual turnover of the industries. We've almost had a 200% jump that in 1920 to 36,120. And even during the pandemic, we've continued to grow like in the IT, which has had a 2% rise. So this is how we have kind of enabled the policy ecosystem that, existing players like Biocon, Origin, Steels, some of the names that we have put in this slide have played a key role in enabling not only the environment in the biotech, but also creating an ecosystem, because these are the industries who we leverage and the department closely works with. And now going forward for the next 5 years, we are trying to ensure that the focus segment of the state is biopharma, bioagri, biomedical, bio-IT, and marine biotech. So the whole point is the industry excited? Yes, industry is extremely excited because these policies and these roadmaps that the government basically facilitates is in collaboration and understanding the wish list of the industry. And during the pandemic, we've understood that some of these areas are what that the state can leverage, understanding we already have a great startup ecosystem, a great research and capabilities, great talent, and a workforce to leverage on. Next. The forecast of our bioeconomy report is that currently, as I said, that we stand at $22.60 billion. And at least we are hoping and we are having a desired target to grow to $50 billion. And these are the sectors, as I mentioned, we are optimistic. But yes, having been optimistic, we are also wanting to ensure that, we reach a desired targets. And we are ensuring that it will be 50% of the national bioeconomy revenue target of 100 billion by 2025. The specific areas to boost the state's bioeco are, as I mentioned already, these are the 5 areas that we want to leverage. Having said that, we are just not aligning BT as alone. We are trying to ensure that IT, the ASDM, the medtech sector, the technology interventions, wherever we could leverage, that is also works in tandem to ensure that the BT sector, which are highlighted here, also progresses equally. Next. Some of the key aspects that have aided to this overall position of being number 1 is the plug-and-play infrastructure that Karnataka boasts of, and this has been put in place over a number of years that we have worked on. One is we have a Bangalore Bioinnovation Center. We have a Nutra Pharmaceutical Incubation Center at Mysore. We have an Agro Biotechnology Incubation Center at Dharwad, Center for Biotechnology Research at Bagalkot. We have Center for Excellence in Agro Innovation called CCAMP in Bengaluru. And we have a technology business incubator in Manipal. So the entire spread of BT is all over the state. And sector-specific infrastructure, we have a bio-life science park, which is kind of coming closer to Bangalore in the Electronic City vicinity for 52 acres, where we will be leveraging almost about 40 lakh square feet of biosector industries to come in there. We have a pharma park at Kadechur, Yadgir, and recently we've also proposed a medtech park at Mysore. We already have an existing pharma SEZ at Hassan and Mangalore SEZ. Some of the key incentives that we are giving the industry partners are that there is a power tariff concession, which we have a 6% subsidy. There is an anchor unit subsidy of almost US 500 million. Financial assistance for obtaining quality certifications, which of late we are seeing a lot of applications received at the department. And these are some of them which have leveraged by the industry and small ecosystems and startups to promote their organizations. And also we have an industrial policy of 2020, which also facilitates in the ease of doing business. And of course, for the startup ecosystem, we've been one of the states #1 in the country as far as the startup ecosystem goes. And thanks to some of the seed funding measures that the state has taken, like the Elevate Idea to POC, we have Grand Challenge where we handle social issues. We have BICEP, which does the skilling, and we have KSAP Bio, which basically looks into the mentoring aspects, and we have Bio Venture Funds, which also gives equity funds to the BT sector also. And we have more than 1,200 startups who are leveraging these facilities. And some of our other than the industrial infrastructure, we have also aided a lot in the research field. Center for Human Genetics Institute for Bioinformatics and Applied Biotechnology is also housed in Bangalore, which basically offers postgraduate and doctorate degree programs and basically does research in genomics, synthetic biology, and rare genetic diseases. And the Bangalore Bio Innovation Center, which has an incubation facility of over 60,000 square feet, currently houses 44 incubatees. And as I mentioned, Bio Life Science Park is a PPP model where 60% of the area of built-up area will be reserved for the BT companies. Continuing with our infrastructure availability, we have Institute for Agri Biotechnology and Incubation Center in Dharwad, which is also a postgraduate and doctoral research programs. Along with the research facilities, there's also incubation facilities with 10 biosuits. And this is a 30-acre agricultural land which is made available for field trials. Access to agri ecosystem, R&D support, high-tech equipment, and mentorship is some of the things that Dharwad offers. CFTRI Mysore, a well-known organization. Also, the state has supported in setting up 8,000 square feet area of incubation space with 10 biosuits. We have 400 square feet for each company with high-tech equipments, R&D support, and access to ecosystem and mentorship. Center for Biotechnology and Research and Incubation Center in Bagalkot basically focuses on horticulture products mainly, and now are doing a lot of study on disease-resistant variety of pomegranate, tomatoes, banana, etc. Access to horti and agri-related activities happen in this particular ecosystem. Then the technology business incubators, we have two of them. One is the CCamp itself, which is in Bangalore, which we have 20,000 square feet of incubation space, and we have deep tech talent of 25 plus startups which are incubated there. And Center for Excellence of Agro Innovation also is housed along with the BT and healthcare facility in CCamp itself, where 4 to 5 world-class products through Grand Challenge and mentoring innovation ideas are basically facilitated in this ecosystem. And I would like to mention that the current COVID vaccine, one of the logistics startup is from this particular incubation setup. This is just a topographic view of our clusters. Asin Pharma has about 270 acres, and we have Sami Labs, Vidya Herbs, Star High Herbs, Karnataka Nutraceuticals, to name a few of the premier industries which are set up in Hassan. In terms of Mangalore Pharma SEZ Park, we have Syngene International, Pradolite Specialty Chemicals, and Athena Aromatics. And at Yadgir, which is right now kind of taking shape, 500 acres have been earmarked, and Microlabs, Shilpa Medicare come some of the companies that have are leveraging that area, and that's because of the nearness also to Hyderabad. All this facilitation has happened because of some of the steps that the state has been taking. We've been one of the states who've been always had far-reaching reforms, and one is the ease of doing business itself. As I said, already the Industrial Policy 2020 has been rolled out. Karnataka also has rolled out the Industrial Facilitation Act, where 15 services in the manufacturing sector have been identified, where it is just an affidavit-based system where industries can set up and commence the activity without any prior approvals required. And Karnataka also has brought in a Land Reforms Act, which has been a major milestone in ensuring that we facilitate industries to come and establish. Of course, we are also working on a vaccine research pilot production facility on a PPP mode. That is still under consideration, and we would like to see how best we can leverage the Government of India R&D facility and the BIRAC initiatives and incentives to make this happen. We are proposing to set up advanced innovation centers in the area of aquamarine biotechnology, cell therapy, and industrial biotechnology and 3D cell culture technology, because we find that currently the startup ecosystem can, as one of the spokesperson from BIRAC mentioned, that a lot of research happens in the country, but however, patents tend to kind of happen abroad. So having understood that, we realized that these are some of the facilities that we have to basically facilitate in the BT sector to ensure that even the patenting can happen in the state itself. And Farm Innovation Center, Bangalore Bio Innovation Center is another area that we are is under the proposed projects where we plan to leverage and kind of come up in the next budget. So thank you all for the patient hearing, and this is what we have to present from Karnataka.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We'll now move on to the next state, state of Odisha. And from the state government, we are delighted to have Sri Santosh Kumar Sarangi, Principal Secretary, Department of Science and Technology. Principal Secretary, sir, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Srivda. I take this opportunity to also wish Mr. Diwan, Mr. Thakur, and my colleagues from Telangana, Karnataka, and which is the one more state?
Punjab.
So my best wishes for this session, as well as the Bio India, which is happening right now. It's a pleasure to be part of this session, and I will give a brief overview of the biotechnology sector in Odisha. Odisha has been a late starter, but we have seen that there has been a great interest and enthusiasm in the biotech sector in the last couple of years. Our sectoral breakdown is mostly in biopharma, bioagri, bio-IT, different bioservices, including contract manufacturing, as well as bioindustry. Next. Odisha has been doing pretty well in the ease of doing business as well as in the innovation index. We have more than 150 biotechnology companies as on date who are operating in Odisha in the areas of bioagri, bioindustry, biopharma, and a whole range of R&D units. The state government has taken a lot of initiatives, including setting up Invest Odisha to facilitate investment, then setting up Odisha Skill Development Authority to ensure skilling of people for different sectors, then a Startup Odisha to facilitate the startup ecosystem, and we also have, as Mr. Thakur rightly pointed out, we have a very effective and efficient investment platform called Go Swift, which acts as the single window investor facilitation and tracking system in Odisha. Next. Odisha, with its 480 kilometer coastline and a variety of agroclimatic scenario, has a lot of biodiversity and has a lot of potential for marine biotechnology. The state scientific legacy in aquaculture and rice research have benefited from this. We also have a lot of research related institution clusters. We have ICMR-led RMRC, we have the Deputies Institute of Life Sciences, we have the IIT here, AIMS, and in the private sector we have KIT and a whole range of other universities which have provided the right kind of ecosystem and the manpower resources for a robust biotech sector. To further strengthen this ecosystem, we also have KIT researching in the areas of digital health and precision agriculture, and we have this Bhubaneswar City Knowledge and Innovation Cluster, which is being supported by a principal scientific advisor to the Government of India, and KIT is going to play a nodal role along with the Department of Science and Technology, Government of Odisha. Next. We are setting up a lot of plug and play infrastructure to facilitate the biotech sector here. We are coming up with we have already come up with a state-of-the-art seafood park at Deras, which can accommodate about 51 entrepreneurs, investors, and it is now a functional unit. We have partnered with Bharat Biotech to set up a biotech park in Bhubaneswar. That's coming up in 64 acres of land, and Bharat Biotech has already started construction for a vaccine manufacturing park is in the offing in Anugu. As well as academics, we have Institute of Life Sciences, RMRC, Regional Plant Resource Center, the NISER, IIT, AIMS, which only go on to strengthen the biotech ecosystem in Odisha. We have a whole range of incentives and schemes, both under the industrial policy of 2015 as well as the biotechnology policy of 2018 in Odisha. Our industrial policy is being revised, and we aim to add a lot more incentives in our revised industrial policy of 2021. Next. From the Department of Science and Technology, we are coming up with a lot of schemes which will have biotech finishing schools, bio innovation grants, support for bio incubation centers, support for different kinds of R&D grants like bio-innovation grants, immersion fellowship, equity funding. We also have committed to set up a fund of funds of 100 crores for assisting the startups. Next, we also have set up a industrial infrastructure development fund to support the ancillary infrastructure in the biotech clusters, and that has been set up with a revolving fund of 100 crores, which will be filled up as and when it is required. Next. That's all, and we'll be looking forward to a collaboration between the different states as well as BIRAC and DBT for furthering biotech ecosystem in Odisha. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. We'll now move on to the next state, the state of Punjab. And from the state government, we are delighted to have Dr. Vandana Awasthi, who is representing the Punjab State Biotech Corporation. Vandana ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Shreya. So good evening to all. So on the behalf of Secretary Department of Science, Technology and Environment, Government of Punjab, and Director Punjab State Battery Corporation, I am representing State of Punjab here. So basically, Advantage Punjab, Punjab offers unmatched opportunity for industrial entrepreneurs. We have strategic location, then prosperous and urbanized state. It's a food bowl of India. It's an agrarian state. We have a lot of entrepreneurial talent. We have a successful Punjabi Restera, leading state. It's a power surplus state also. And we have like adopted a one-stop clearance system and attractive incentives in our industrial policy also. We have robust infrastructure and still human capital in the Punjab. Next, please. So Punjab is a leader in agri-produce. I have already said it's a agrarian state. So we have like rich in agri-produce. We are producer of peach, pear, quinoa, then lemon, and we are exporter of the basmati rice and honey, and vegetables like peas and radish. We have a cotton belt, and we are leading in production of mushroom also, and milk. Next, please. So, biotech sector as a landscape, we have enabling ecosystem to support biotech. We have robust infrastructure and government support. So, key strengths in Punjab is state-of-the-art R&D institute, bioresearch rich state. It has specialized infrastructure to support biotech industry and presence of bio-based industries. So, we have in Punjab, we have two clusters. One is Royal City Mohali. So it's in 400-acre land. We have made 200 crore investment. It's a first of its kind institutional cluster, and we have India's first agri-food biotechnology cluster. Where we have prime institutes like ISER, then NAVI, SIAB, INST, and ISB, Indian School of Business. So agri-food biotechnology cluster, we are like in agri-food biotechnology cluster, we have Punjab Biotech Incubator, CR, and NAVI. So it's first of its kind agri-food biotechnology cluster in India. Next, please. And second cluster is CRIC. It's a Chandigarh Regional Innovation and Knowledge Cluster. So 31 institutions from Mohali, Chandigarh, Panchkula, Tehsili are partners in this cluster CRIC. So here we have Cambridge Institute like Punjab University, INST, then PEC, Biotech, ISER, then INST, and not many, like CSIU. So all these premier institutes in the region of Mohali, Chandigarh, Panchkula are a member of CLIP. Next, please. So Punjab ranks high among the state in terms of number of universities also. We have 30 universities, 11 medical colleges, then more than 100 engineering colleges, around 200 management institutes, and around 300, more than 350 ITIs, and we have 10 upcoming biotech finishing schools and higher skill centers. So our key pillars are University and Research Institute, industry, entrepreneur startups, government department, investor funding agencies. Next, please. So to promote biotechnology, Punjab State Biotech Corporation is leading the biotech in the state. So we have goal to promote biotechnology in the state, to provide world-class infrastructure to this sector, to provide necessary technical infrastructure, to develop enabling ecosystem for promoting startup and entrepreneurship, and to develop human capitals for biotechnology sector. So to achieve these goals, these are our target sectors: biopharma, environment, industry biotech, energy, medical biotech, and agriculture. These are our academia partners. Can you move on to the next slide? So these are the government partner institutes, government partner departments of Department of Agriculture, Department of Water Supply and Sanitation, Department of Health and Family Welfare, then Animal Husbandry, Fisheries, Industry and Commerce, Technical Education, Industry Training, Renewable Energy, and Industry and Commerce. Because biotech is a combination of different sciences. So this is the world-class infrastructure which is coming up in Mohali. It's a biotech park. We are establishing 75 acres of land. So for this, we are like floating one demand cluster. So anybody can participate in this. So last date for this is, I think, 22nd of March. So this is one of its kind biotechnology park coming up in Mohali. This is Medicity. It's a project area which is coming up in 50 acres of land. It's located nearby Chandigarh, New Chandigarh township area. So there are leading institutes like Tata Cancer Hospital Research and like super specialty hospitals. In PGI, one more center is coming over this Medicity. This is um, advanced analytical and research facility, knowledge city. So it is basically high-end analytical facility. It has more than 50 recognitions and 85,000 square feet area is dedicated for this high-end analytical facility. Presently, it's housed in a like transit premises, but this biotech park will have 1 acre land for this advanced analytical facility. So for enabling ecosystem for promoting startup and entrepreneurship, we have mentoring startups to startups, mentoring support to startups, setting up of biotech incubators, early translation, acceleration and entrepreneurial networks, and facilitation of biotech application for state-specific challenges. So to promote this, next please. We are coming up with Global Innovation Hub in Mohali. It's a really first innovation hub in planning. It is in planning stage, but government has already approved this Global Innovation Hub. So for key services we are providing through Global Innovation Hub with this. Next, please. So key services it will provide like incubation space, marker space, industry connect, university and research institution, global linkages, leverages, and networking. So most likely this global innovation hub will be by the end of this year. Global innovation hub will be set up in Mohali. So these are a few fiscal incentives which are already covered in Industrial Business Development Policy of Punjab for MSME, for large and anchor units. So 100% reimbursement of debt SGST, exemption ADNST, assistance for finance, technology and marketing export. For large units, 75% of debt SGST and 100% exemption in ADST and 50% property tax. For anchor units, 100% reimbursement of net SGST for 15 years up to 200% of FSCI and employment generation incentives at the rate of 30,000 per employee per year. Next, please. And for incubators, specifically for capital grant of 1 crore, then operational support of rupees 3 lakhs per year for 5 years, mentoring support of rupees 3 lakhs per year for 5 years, and rupees 5 lakhs for startup plus student institutions. And for startup, there is seed grant of 3 lakhs, reimbursement of rental up to 3 lakhs per annum, and all other benefits being extended to MSMEs also. Thank you. On the behalf of Punjab State, I would like to see partnership with the DBT and the Biotech also. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Vandana ma'am. Now moving on to our last but not the least, state of Telangana. From the state government, we are delighted to have Mr. Jayesh Ranjan, Principal Secretary, IT, Electronics and Industries, Government of Telangana. Principal Secretary, sir, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sri Vidya. And thanks for saving the best for the last. So I was also very keenly following the presentations of the other 3 states. And while lots of exciting things are happening there, lots of that is what progress is. But what I would like to share about Telangana is that the life sciences ecosystem, particularly the biotech ecosystem, is decades old here and extremely well established. So as we can see on this slide, Telangana is one of the top ranking states in terms of ease of doing business. But most importantly, it is home to India's first and largest biotech manufacturing and R&D cluster, which is called the Genome Valley. And let me step aside from this presentation and share a couple of points. See, today we are all very anxious about the vaccine, the COVID vaccine, and the vaccination programs have rolled out. And I'm very happy to share with you that 4 of the 6 vaccines which are likely to be used in India, 2 of them are already being used, but 4 more will be used as weeks and months go by. 4 of the 6 will be either researched or manufactured, or both researched and manufactured in Hyderabad. So this will be an amazing feat. In fact, no singular city in the entire world can claim that so much of vaccine network for the benefit of the humanity is happening from that particular city. So this is a claim that we will be making right now. Also, the very important indigenous vaccine. See, there are 2 vaccines which we all know have been rolled out. One of them is non-indigenous, but the indigenous vaccine, which is called Covaxin, has been completely R&D and manufactured in Hyderabad. And incidentally, it's all happening at Genome Valley. In fact, all others also have either the R&D or the manufacturing capabilities at Genome Valley. Hyderabad, so developing vaccines is not new for Hyderabad. In fact, Hyderabad today has a very unique distinction of being the supplier of 1/3 of global vaccines. So this is an amazing number. I mean, some of you may think that I'm misreading. Perhaps it is only 1/3 of India or 1/3 of Asia, but no, it is 1/3 of the world. 1/3 of world's vaccines are made in Hyderabad. In fact, you'll be amazed to know that the entire supply of to Africa actually happens from Hyderabad. Every vaccine which the continent of Africa consumes, including the most important ones of HIV/AIDS, they're all manufactured in Hyderabad. Of course, we are also important pharmaceutical bulk drugs destination. 40% of the country's pharma production happens here, and 20% of US FDA's approved facilities are present in Hyderabad. Again, the next best is, I guess, Boston, where they have similarly large number of FDA facilities. Hyderabad, where the entire life sciences and biotech cluster is concentrated, is the capital of Telangana, considered to be the most livable city in India. Have a very young population, very employable population. And when I mentioned that we rank as the top states, among the top states in the ease of doing business, one of the reasons is because of the revolutionary law that we have, which is called TSI Pass, under which companies are first permitted to start construction of their factory without the need for any approval and permission. And so, secondly, when they are ready with their commercial production, all these approvals and permissions are given to them in 15 days time. And despite the pandemic, the life sciences sector received an investment of 3,700 crores. And in the last 4 years, the investment in this sector has been close to 1.35 billion. Next one, please, Sri Vidya. So the sector, obviously, as I said, when it is having decades of footprint, we have now 800 pharma and biotech companies with a combined value of $50 billion. Our target is to double it in the next 10 years. And I'll speak about some of the initiatives that we are taking to make that happen. And apart from manufacturing and R&D, we have 40 national centers of excellence and eminence related to different components of life sciences, including some of the very premier institutions. And there are 20 life sciences incubation centers. And one good thing which the government has done is to create a network of them, which is called the RICH, the Research and Innovation Circle of Hyderabad. So all these national centers of excellence, all the incubators, the startups, and the industry, they all come together on a common platform. So even this Covaxin that we are all hearing so much about, which has become a life savior for our world, some very critical molecule of it was actually developed in IICT, which shows the partnership between academia and the industry. And some startups also contributed in that R&D work. So this triple helix model of startups, research institutions, and industry, which has been put together so meticulously by the government, that works pretty well for us. So Genome Valley is something which I spoke about, which is, as I said, already the existing largest life sciences cluster in the country. We are also developing a pharma city, a greenfield dedicated industrial park for the pharma sector, which is going to be the world's largest. It is spread over close to 20,000 acres. We already have a existing medical devices park, which is spread over close to 250 acres. And we are in the process of setting up a digital medicine hub. All that is supported by our emphasis on skilling, on creating an infra fund, creating an innovation fund, and conducting a signature event called BioAsia that has just concluded very, very successfully for the 21st year in a row. So these are some of the ways in which the sector is supported and made to grow further by the government. Next one, please, Shivita. So speaking about Genome Valley, which is where the action is in terms of biotechnology sector, this was started 3 decades ago in the year 2000 and is ranked as the first amongst all in terms of the most prominent hotspot for life science. It has more than 200 companies and about 15,000 scientists working there. 3 of the largest vaccine manufacturers of the country are present here. All 3 of whom are in the business of making COVID vaccines. And it is not just the domestic industry that we host here. In fact, companies from 18 different countries are present in our life sciences hub. Apart from raw land, we also have built up space which we offer to our clients here. And 2 important new initiatives that we are taking. One is to set up a biopharma hub or B hub, which will help the biopharma sector scale up its manufacturing. And it has dedicated facilities to create preclinical material and also common facility to support both upstream and downstream in sectors and trained manpower. The second new initiative is the National Animal Resource Facility, which is actually the country's largest animal resource and testing facility, jointly developed by Government of India and the state government. And all kinds of tests covering the entire range will be made available there. Next one, please. So, as I said, the who's who of the life sciences world, the biotech world, are present in Hyderabad, including some of the global majors like Novartis and GSK, Medtronic, and DuPont, Mylan, Laurus, Ferring, and of course our domestic players like Dr. Reddy's and Aurobindo and Bharat Biotech, Biologically, etc., etc. But the amazing thing is that while we continue to welcome newer players, the existing ones also are expanding significantly. In fact, I don't have data with me right now, but anecdotally I can share with you that of the 800 companies that we have in Hyderabad, at least 600 of them would have made significant expansions in the last 4 years, which also is a very good indicator to show how good the going is, because they could have easily been tempted by a Karnataka or by an Orissa or by any other state to move on if they did not find the going to be good in Telangana. But the fact that they have stuck here, they have kind of expanded significantly, shows that they appreciate the policies and the support that they get in this state. Next one, please. So, of course, as all other 3 states have pointed out, we also provide an attractive package of incentives. And I don't want to kind of get into all the details of these incentives, but the point is that the overall package is attractive, and we have a flexibility in our life sciences policy that if some other state is offering a particular package to a important investor, strategically important investor to us, we can meet or beat that incentive package. So if some company tells me that, let us say Karnataka offers this or Punjab offers that, I'll be willing to just close my eyes and say yes to it. No discussions, no negotiations. And let me share this with you that on a few occasions, 2-3 occasions, we have actually exercised this meet or beat option. So the overall attractiveness of Telangana is not just because of this package, but because of the fact that this is a very old and very well established ecosystem. When companies come here, their turnaround time to start manufacturing or start doing the R&D, it takes just a matter of months for them. It is very easy to recruit people, very easy to get all the approvals, permissions. You have all the regulators who come here frequently. So very easy to plug in into that existing ecosystem. Next one, please. So I'll be very happy if investors show their interest towards Telangana, and we'll be very happy to facilitate that to happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. With this, we come to the end of the session. Thank you, senior officials from the state government, team DBT, BIRAC, and industry for participating and gracing the occasion. We look forward to meeting you all in person in the third edition of Global Bio India 2022. Thank you again and have a great evening. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Srividya. Thank you.